Hey guys, it's Tessa. So today I'm finally getting to the blanket I've been meaning to make for my husband for forever now. And I'm using the lemon peel stitch, I believe is what it's called. I'll show you how to do it, but basically it's just on the first row you repeat doing a single crochet and then a double crochet, and on the next row wherever you did a single crochet you do a double, and wherever you did a double you do a single. I made a blanket like this previously and I showed you guys it. It's basically like a baby blanket. But this is using 2 balls of the perfect phasing. And it's not too large. I think it's like 2.5, 3 feet wide on either side. But I'm hoping with 3 balls I can get quite a bit farther. I'm also planning like every 6 to 8 rows I'm thinking I do a like double crochet chain space so that there's a little bit of extra length I'll get out of it, in addition to it not being so warm that it's unbearable, because here in California even cold is too warm. But yeah, so I'm getting started on that tonight, and hopefully I'll finish it by like Sunday or Monday. These really don't take too long to make, which is nice. But let me show you how to do the lemon peel stitch.
The lemon peel stitch is fairly simple. You're going to want to chain an even number plus 1. You see you should have an odd number. And then in the second space from your hook, you'll insert your hook, do a single crochet. In the next stitch, you'll do a double crochet, and you'll repeat that. So every other stitch is a single, every other stitch is a double. You'll do that all the way across. You should end with a double crochet. I personally recommend this way because it just makes the chains in the edges look a little nicer. And then on row 2, you'll chain 1, either at the end or the end of the last row or start of this row. And then since that first stitch is a double crochet, you're going to single crochet into it. So anytime you have a double crochet from the previous row, you're going to single crochet. Anytime you have a single crochet from the previous row, you're going to double crochet. You're going to do that all the way across, and again, you should always start with a single crochet and end with a double crochet. Sometimes I've noticed buckling will occur on the edges because my last double crochets are a little too loose. If that happens, I will end with a half double crochet instead, and it seems to adjust the tension enough for me, but typically I just recommend ending with the double crochet. Alright, so in this first night, I got through the entire first ball of yarn. I only have 3 of these. I don't know if I mentioned that previously, but I rewound the next ball because I was starting on the outside, and I don't like starting on the outside of cakes. I'm thinking of getting possibly a 4th one. Currently my estimations tell me that this will be around 45 inches long. I don't really know how wide it is other than it's like 80-ish stitches. But anywho, I think I might get a 4th one for that reason, or I have a little bit of this like blanket yarn, the Bernat, that's similar to the teal color. It looks a little bit darker on camera than it is. But I have, I think like 3/4 of a ball of a similar teal color, and I'm thinking of using that for the border maybe, because I'm doing every 6 rows is the lemon peel stitch, and then there's 2 rows of just the double crochet chain 1. But on the ends of these rows, as you'll see, one of them just has a single double crochet here, while the next one has 2 here. So in theory, if there was a ribbing on it, or a border I mean, then those 2 stitches would be gone, and it would look pretty good. I think it would just look better. Plus, with this stitch specifically, the edges for me always get a little funny. I've kind of figured out a trick to doing it, and it's just tightening the final double crochet a little bit. But, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm thinking of just adding a border. I will check back in tomorrow. Double crochet, chain 1 rows. Your first row, you're going to chain 3, skip the first stitch, double crochet in the second stitch. Then you'll chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, and repeat the chain 1, skipping and double crocheting all the way to the end. On that first row, you should end with 1 double crochet. And then on the second row, you're going to start it similarly. You're going to chain 2 instead of 3. And then in that first chain space, you're going to double crochet. Then you'll chain 1, skip that next double crochet, and double crochet into the chain 1 space. Here you'll have 2 stitches next to each other at that start.
Alright, so I think I'm going to stop working on the blanket for tonight. This is how far we have gotten. I just finished the second ball. Whoops. I just finished the second ball of yarn as well and tied on the third one. So this is our final ball left. And I think it should be perfect because like I think I mentioned, I did the first 4 rows of the lemon peel stitch, then the 2 rows of the double crochet chain 1, and then every other lemon peel stitch after that, or rows after that, I've done 6 rows between the double crochet chain 1s, and I finished ball number 2 on row 3 of that 6-row repeat. So I think I should be able to finish perfectly or almost perfectly with the other, or on the final ball of yarn. But that is where we're at so far. I think it's a little over 30 inches right now. Let me double check. Yeah, it's currently at 31 inches, so I'm assuming it's gonna finalize at about 45 to 48, and then as well with wear and usage, it'll stretch out a little bit more from there as well. But that puts it at like just under or just at 4 feet long, which is nice. And then it is about 35 to 36 inches wide, so it's like 3 feet by 4 feet basically. I believe this is the 1:2 ratio scale. When it comes to quilting or making blankets in general, it's recommended to use specific ratios. So a lot of times people will make blankets that are 6 feet by 8 feet, which is, I believe, a true 1:2 ratio. And then sometimes they'll do a 3 feet by 4 feet ratio, or even if they're going to do something larger than either of those, they'll do a 10 by 8 or a 12 by 10. Typically that's the category you want to stay in because it keeps the overall shape of the blanket nice. Because veering out of that category, it might look too narrow or too wide from different angles. I always recommend the 2:1 ratio. It's just a little bit easier as well to keep track of. But yeah, that is where we're at currently on night 2. I might do a little bit more, but I don't think I'm gonna check in again for the night. But I think I can realistically finish this by tomorrow, which is Saturday. And I started this last night, so Thursday. So 3-4 days, that's not too bad. But yeah, once I finish this, I think I mentioned previously I wanted to do a border around the whole thing. I just don't know if that's necessary. My edges are looking pretty straight now, so I just don't know if that's even necessary to do, but I'll probably just consult my husband and see what he wants me to do. But yeah, that is where we're at. Alright, so I finished his blanket, as you can tell. But I purposely wanted to make him a blanket so it would match the one I made for myself, or like match sort of. Mine's the green and white colorway, while his is the teal colorway. Do you have any opinions? Okay, well, that is it for this week's video. Be sure to come back next week, and I'll see you later. Bye!